Hello! Coming up this week, I have some news. Yeah, some exciting news. So I'll be sharing that with you later on in the video. Don't go anywhere. So before we get to the exciting news, did I say I've got some news? I've got some news. Before we get there, it's time for a run. And it won't surprise you to learn that I'm going to go for a 10k. Love running 10k, as you've heard me say so many times before. And but I'm going out a bit later in the day than I normally do. It's gone 5 o'clock, I think. So I've been sort of out and about. Remember that? I know. It's crazy, isn't it? You know, you used to go out places and do things. I've been out. It was very weird. Been shopping, sort of. But yeah, anyway, yeah, that's enough of that, you know. It's difficult, isn't it? Because I wear glasses and they forever fog up with the face mask. Oh, 21st century problems. Oh dear, I remember 2019 with such fond memory. So anyway, enough of that. Been out, so yeah, but of course the days are getting longer, so which is quite nice. So it means I can go out a bit later. I was going to actually come out about 7 o'clock. I thought I'd go out sort of much later in the evening, but I'm going to squash this run in now before dinner. There you are, a little bit of domestic bliss for you. Right, let's get running. Let's try a bit of 10k, hopefully. And on the other side, I'll tell you my news. There we go, 10k complete. I think it was 1 hour and, well, I went slightly over, so about 1 hour and 10 seconds, maybe 1 hour 8 seconds, something like that. So fractionally over the hour. But you know, I'm pleased with that because I didn't set out to do a fast time for me. I just set out to go for a run, but yeah, really enjoyed that. That's good, I needed that. There was a very big rain cloud, as you probably saw from the montage, big rain cloud. And there was a bit of drizzle going around, but that's all. And the weather's been awful lately, lots of wind and rain and goodness. Apparently, it's spring. I know, I checked the calendar before I came out. It's the longest day in less than a month. What's going on? Weird. Anyway, there we go. Right, I said I had news, and I do have news. Now, a couple of weeks ago in the video, we talked about running and whether it's okay to run with other people again. Because if something happened in 2020 and into 2021. What was it? I can't remember what it was, but something happened, and yeah, so we didn't run in groups anymore. So and I was talking about that, so I had lots of interesting comments, thank you very much. And something that a lot of people did during 2020 in particular was to do virtual runs. Now, I didn't do any of those because kind of for me, the whole running thing, if I'm going to do an event, is the experience of running with other people. If I'm running on my own in a virtual event, I sort of thought, oh, why would I do that? But in actual fact, I can see why people might do it, because we all need motivation, don't we? We all need things to motivate us, and a virtual event is a great idea, great thing to do. So I'm certainly not knocking it. In fact, I've seen the light. I can see these virtual events are actually a really good idea. The one that really appealed to me was the Great North Run, because that event was quite clever. There was an app, and everybody who was doing that event, the Great North Run, all did it at the same time. So even though you might have been running on your own, you would have been running at exactly the same time as other people all over the country. And I thought that was a great idea. And of course, a Great North Run is a half marathon, and I wasn't quite up to half marathon distance at that time, so I didn't do it, which is a shame. I would have enjoyed that, but you know, here's what it is. But here's my first bit of news, which is that I have signed up for a virtual event. It's been organised by the people who do the London Marathon. Don't worry, it's not a marathon, it's actually a 10k, and it's taking place week commencing, I think it's the 29th of May, which I think is a Saturday, and it's that week, which I think is half-term week in England. It may not be where you are. And that week, you just put in a 10k, and then you send in your time, and then they'll send you a medal and a t-shirt, I think. So I thought that's great. So I'll do a 10K, and I'd like to put in a decent shift for that. So I'll see if I can go under an hour. I'll be really chuffed. So that's a bit of news number one. I'm doing a virtual event. I will, of course, vlog it. Of course I will. But I have another bit of news, which is that I've entered a real event with other people, and I'm so looking forward to it. And it's actually the Run Bournemouth event, so that's why I've put my shirt on. It's because I entered the last one. There wasn't one in 2020, obviously, but I entered the one in 2019, and that's when I got this t-shirt. That was the first ever event that I'd entered, ever. And also, it was the first time that I'd ever achieved 10K, first ever 10K. And the time that I did was 1:05:55, I think it was, or was it 1:06:55? Something like that anyway, 1:05 or 1:06, I can't remember. I did look before I came on the run. That was an hour ago, I can't remember what it was now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So that's what I did. So I was thinking, what should I enter? And I thought about entering the half marathon, which I expect a lot of you are thinking, oh yeah, he's entered the half marathon, hasn't he? Because they do half marathon, 10K and a 5K. And I've actually entered the 10K. You might think that's a strange choice because I've kind of been there, done that, got the t-shirt for 10K. So why would I enter another 10K? Well, there's a reason for it. My first ever 10K, as I said, was in their last event in 2019. And this will kind of bring me full circle. So it'll be 2 years since I did my first ever 10K. And I'm not saying this is going to be my last ever 10K, of course it isn't, but I kind of feel like it will show some real progress. It will show what I've achieved over the 2 years. So if I can kind of beat that time, which is what I'm hoping to do, then that will show some progression. That's the idea anyway. So what I would really like to do is to do under an hour, and if I can set a personal best, that would be great. Now, it's worth pointing out actually that 1:06, whatever time it was, 1:05, 1:06, was kind of the time that I would then go on and do when I was running on my own subsequently. So, but that was my first ever 10K, and of course I was really slow, especially towards the end, having never gone over 8K before. So it shows what a difference it is having other people around. I didn't know anybody else on the run, but having other people there does seem to spur you on. So I did a time there, which for my first ever 10K, is astonishingly good, really, for me, I think. Especially as later on, when I was more used to it, I didn't put in times that were much different to that for a long time. So I think there's a really good chance with other people there, being a big event and taking part, that I could put in a really good time. That's what I'm hoping. So there is a challenge there. There is a challenge involved in it all. And the challenge is to try and keep up this momentum that I've got, keep up the momentum of putting in sort of sub-hour 10Ks or round about an hour, keep my training up, do a lot of the slow runs that I have been doing, and try and kind of build so that I can put in a really good time on that event, which is in October, incidentally. Now, when they did this event in 2019, it was actually, they did a marathon then. It was called the Bournemouth Marathon Festival. They've dropped the marathon. What they've also done is they've changed the routes of the events. The 10K's on a different route. Nothing to do with COVID. They were going to do this anyway for the 2020 event, so it's nothing to do with it. They just decided to drop the marathon. And actually the route, I really like the route. I didn't dislike the route for the 10K in 2019, but the route they've got for the one in this year, 2021, I've looked at the route, and it's a cracking route actually, and I think it's quite good for setting a good time. So yeah, it starts off at Hengistbury Head, goes all the way down to sort of Folkestone, Bournemouth, and then on to past both of the piers, and then you kind of finish on Pier Approach. So it's the same finish as it was in 2019. So it's really good. That's my news. So anyway, let me know what you think. Are you entering any events? Have you entered any events? Are you looking forward to doing that? What's your thoughts on virtual events? You know, any of that, I'll be love to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to get home now before it does start raining. It's getting dark, and have something to eat. Yum yum. So thanks for watching. Leave your comments, like, subscribe, all that usual stuff, and I'll see you for another update next week.